Hey everybody, this is Carl back again for another movie spoiler review. And Thanksgiving uh, movie month review is finally over, so now we're going right into uh, Christmas reviews. And the first one will be it just came out, the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Now it's gonna be like relatively short. It's only like a 45-minute special, not that too dissimilar to Werewolf by Night, which I also reviewed as part of the Halloween month review, which you can check out on my YouTube channel. You can follow me in the links in the description. Hit that like button and the notification bell. Uh, that'll help me out and get more stuff out to you guys whenever I post. Anywho, I here's the thing. A lot of people just love the Guardians of the Galaxy, and like I get why. I also really like James Gunn's work. Uh, but here's the thing. While I do like the Guardians of the Galaxy films, I don't love it as much as like everybody else does. It's like a good movie. It's just that, uh, especially when it comes to the first one, I think people, personally wise, I think people just remember fondly of the music. Because I don't think I ever did like a spoiler. No, I definitely did not do any spoiler review for the Guardians of the Galaxy films. But eventually I would. But for right now, I just gonna just briefly tell you that I just think the story is mid, and I think people just got so wrapped up in it because of the soundtrack. The soundtrack is phenomenal, and I think that kind of, I want to say, clouds people's judgment on the story, because the story is fine. It's just like they put Guardians of the Galaxy on such a high pedestal where I don't know. It's like it doesn't need to be super high. I did like a MCU ranking uh last year, and I'm gonna do like a part two to that a little bit later today, because after this, the and Wakanda Forever, Phase 4 is finally completed. The only little you know gripe I had about Phase 4, they didn't keep the Fantastic Four in the Phase 4 of it. It's like Phase 4, Fantastic Four. Why didn't you so they moved Fantastic Four, I think, into Phase 5. They're going, by the end of Phase 5, Fantastic Four will be revealed. But I'm like, God, you could have just had, it's right there, Fantastic Phase 4. I mean, 4. It just didn't. It kind of bugs me. But anyway, but on the tier list, I put like Guardians of the Galaxy on like the A tier list. That and the sequel, because you know by trying to put as much bias aside as I can when it comes to these rankings, without because try to be fair as possible, despite like it's not like you throw the Dark World, where I think it's probably the worst film out of the entire MCU lineup. Personally, some people say like Captain Marvel, but I think Captain Marvel is like a fine movie. Uh, I get people's issues with it, but I think they kind of like really want to put it at the very bottom of the barrel unfairly, unnecessarily. Uh, uh, but I think Guardians of the Galaxy is just like, by and large, it's a good film. But I think I put the holiday special up on that same level. It's a good film, but it's just like it's just like it's good. It's good. It's just like slightly above maybe the Ant-Man films, which I also thought is very like mid. And I think Ant-Man Quantumania might be the only Ant-Man movie I probably will like a lot more than the previous two. Uh, uh, but anyway, the movie begins in a very I don't even know what I know. I've seen this animation style before. Generally, like I'm not like uh big on that kind of style of animation, but I think it works to a degree uh in the style when it's doing not just generic flashbacks. You do like an animation kind of flashback, uh and uh I forgot the guy's. Sean Gunn plays this character. I keep forgetting his name, but he used to be the right hand man to Yondu, and he's telling the other Guardians, well, Nebula, uh, Mantis, and Drax, about how uh, when Peter was like in his early teens, he was trying to celebrate Christmas, and how Yondu, in a fucking Scrooge ass moment, talking about like we're Ravagers. We don't celebrate this crap, and he kicks the tree and tosses it. So in in his mind, he thinks like Yondu ruined Peter's Christmas as a kid, and there's more to the story by the end of the film, but that part kind of got me like, why in the world do you never, uh, Peter didn't feel. I guess he's trying to keep it a secret, but it's just like a whole thing. It's like you would think at some point down the line, Peter would, reveal this tidbit to him to complete the story. Because why wouldn't he I know this part by now. But anyway, Mantis is very empathetic, and especially after the events of Endgame, where Gamora just after the battle with Thanos, she went off into her own thing, and so Peter at this point, which I kind of wish they kind of like, I guess it's supposed to be implied, but I kind of wish they had some kind of short dialogue about, at least come from Quill, because Quill's not behaving necessarily like himself, like we've seen in the previous two films. He's not quippy or offering any kind of just goofiness, or he's not trying to hook up with any random alien babes. I don't know. It's just he just seems like just focused. Signing some paper, getting some stuff done in nowhere. We got to see Cosmo the dog again, and he gets the rocket. He's fixing things up for nowhere, and Mantis takes it upon herself to team up with Drax. Oh, by the way, Groot now is kind of a teenager, I guess. I mean, probably like before I guess he would be considered in his 20s, I guess. If not 20, 21, something like that. Because he's now like as tall as slightly taller than what we've seen him in Infinity War and Endgame. And he's a lot more bulkier now. So by the next Guardians film, he should be back to his regular Groot self like we've seen in the first film. Which is good, because I think it's been like a long while, while we watching this journey with Groot, where he just slowly ages up, and it takes some considerable time. So Mantis and Drax take a ship to Earth and decides that they would, as a present for Quill, to cheer him up, because he's probably still, a little emotionally distressed, considering that Gamora, the person he truly loves, is technically back, even though it's like her past self before she met up with the Guardians. So he doesn't know where she is, so he's a little depressed. And I guess it's supposed to emphasize, but I kind of wish he had some kind of dialogue with Groot or somebody, how like he misses Gamora and like doesn't know where she at, and it's like this is the only thing I can do right now to keep me from thinking about her. That kind of thing that would have kind of emphasized uh, his state of mind right now. So I really like this part. It's like a funny moment where like Mantis and Drax go to planet Earth, California, to find Kevin Bacon, who Star Lord constantly talks about as like his personal hero, and especially like on Footloose, and like because of him, it gives him like the inspiration to actually use dancing to help save the galaxy against Ronan. Uh, so in all these stories, of course, they get bummed out when they come to realize, oh, he's an actor, and it's like there's a funny little delivery from Mantis and Drax, because these two are like a great pair. It's like, oh, you're an actor, oh, they're the worst, it was really funny, but they go along the like that boardwalk, that Chinese theater thing in California, and you know you got a lot. Of course, it's a Marvel property, so of course they have a bunch of people dressed up in Marvel costumes, and like a lady cosplaying as Captain Marvel and doing her little poses and stuff like that, and one guy dressed up as Captain America, and Mantis is like goes like, Steve. It's like, y'all know Steve got, well, I don't know if they even saw him get old and like move on, but by and large, I don't know what they, because they wasn't present when he went back in the past, and they weren't there to see him just sit there on a log being old. So of course they probably wouldn't know, but I don't know. I think would have word gone around with at least the Avengers collective. They would have been privy to the knowledge that, oh, Steve just decides to retire, and he's old now. And Sam Wilson is the new Cap. So it's like you would think the Guardians, Thor, Spider-Man, like the Wakandans, like you think Captain Marvel's Shield, or at least Nick Fury definitely would know. They all will be privy to the knowledge that Cap's retired. He wouldn't just be out young again or whatever, taking pictures. But so they go to this bar to get drunk, and I like Mantis' reaction to like human alcohol, and it's like, I like and it's like she at first she like just start laughing up like a cat, and then she just start inhaling this stuff, and then Dave Bautista is like, I think after the next Guardians film, Dave Bautista mentions that, because along with James Gunn, that's going to be the last Guardian film like James Gunn's going to direct, and because of that, that is also going to be the last time Dave Bautista will be playing as Drax. At least maybe he'll return for the next two Avengers films. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure if that's going to be like just the last Guardians film. It's kind of up in the air right now with all that, but I'm fairly certain that Dave Bautista said he eventually going to be done playing as Drax after a while. But yeah, so they find this lady who gives like the star maps, and oh yeah, and while they're on that little like in front of the Chinese theater, they just taking a bunch of pictures with people who assume that they're people in Mantis and Drax costumes, or they keep calling Drax Thor, and it's like, does he even remotely look like Thor? uh, and then like while Mantis taking pictures of a bunch of people, Drax in the background punching this dude in this pseudo Transformers costume and just beating the hell out of this guy. That part got me. Uh, but they find one of those star maps, and the where the stars live and stuff like that. They eventually track down Kevin Bacon's home. They break in, and I really assumed that Kevin Bacon might just have just like a cameo thing, but he's like involved with most of the story. Of course, at least half the time he's running away from Mantis and Drax, and while they're chasing him down all through his house, and Kevin Bacon's so freaking cool, like it's because he played a Marvel villain in X-Men First Class as Sebastian Shaw, and it's kind of like, dang, I guess we can't have him back as Sebastian Shaw, but for the MCU, probably have to get somebody else, or at least you can do the whole multiverse thing and just have like a different Kevin Bacon, but it's Sebastian Shaw. I don't know, but I mean, I remember him being very dope in as that character, even though he was playing technically, well, Sebastian Shaw in the comics wasn't a Nazi, or at least wasn't part or a Nazi adjacent at all. He was a straight up mutant who had like the Hellfire Club things, very eyes wide shut type of mutant society. But in the X-Men First Class, they kind of played it like slightly different. But anyway, Kevin Bacon is running away from these two, and it's so freaking creepy because I like the actress who play as Mantis, because just like in the Guardians of the Galaxy game, I just love the portrayal of Mantis, and it's like just like because if you watch my gameplay of Guardians of the Galaxy on my YouTube channel, as I often mention it, because like her first introduction not the first introduction, but the second time you see her in the game is like, "Hi guys," and it's just so happy, and it's just like just got this aloof, flower child type of vibe, and just like I don't know, she's like an empath, so she got like a at least she kind of psychic, but it's more empathic kind of thing going on. But she knows how to fight. We actually praying mantis kind of style of fighting, and kudos to this movie because you actually get to see Mantis strut her stuff, because you think like she only got like psychic-ish abilities, because in the end game you see all those women lined up. Some people hate it. I liked it. I don't I don't care if it's like, oh, it's convenient when they're having all together, just have this whole moment. It's like, so what? And freaking enjoy it. You got all these iconic MCU females together. Just freaking enjoy it. It's awesome. Why are you bitching about it? It's just awesome. Let it be awesome. It's like you see them all in their separate things, and it's like you see them all collectively together. It's fine. Who cares how they got there? They're there. It'd be probably disingenuous to not have them, team up to back up Carol Danvers. And I don't care how powerful Captain Marvel is, and like, oh, she can easily, tank all those people by herself. No, she's still one person, and she needs backup while she's trying to get that gauntlet to the time machine. Just let these women be awesome, people. Anyway, Mantis is like hopping, and it's probably creepy as fuck, because like from Kevin Bacon's perspective, I imagine that's super fucking creepy. Just having like, because Mantis, I don't know, it's like not necessarily like a bug lady, but kind of ish bug lady. And it's like, just a lady with antennae on her top of her head is kind of fucking creepy. Nonetheless, and she just hopping on around the walls and ceiling, and I was like, it's fucking creepy as fuck. And Oh, I really love this part. This is probably my favorite part. And when she, when they're outside of Kevin Bacon's gate, and he wouldn't let them in, and he's just mentioning to Drax, maybe you can toss me over, and it's like, okay, and just tosses her little ass over. It's like Drax, it wasn't. Didn't even finish my sentence. Like you said, toss you over the gate, make it your mine. That part is slavey. That was really funny. But then you see them chasing down Kevin Bacon, and like they both are leaping over hedges to chase him down. And it's like, wait a minute, why'd you ask Drax to throw you over the gate if you can just hop over the sucker? Because you got some hang time in the air, so clearly you both can leap. You didn't need Drax to toss you over. So that kind of, it's like it was play for like just comedic effects, but it's like it's kind of pointless if you can just leap yourself. Anyway, they took down some cops, non-lethally, and they practically just, she mind wipe. I won't say mind wipe. She mind whammied him into just being a little bit more passive, so they can pretty much abduct him. These aliens abduct, because you almost forget Mantis and Drax are aliens, and they're technically abducting a human being. So they abduct Kevin Bacon, gift wrap them, and set up this massive like Christmas party, surprise party for Peter on Nowhere. And Peter is just stunned the fact that y'all kidnapped a human being. You're essentially human trafficking. And he apologizes to Kevin Bacon, and at first Kevin Bacon's about to get a ride back to Earth, but then hearing from Sean Gunn, it's like how like Peter looked up to him, and because of him being an inspiration to him of how to be a hero, he saved the galaxy a couple of times, and it warms Kevin Bacon's heart. It was a very sweet moment, and I can't imagine hey, you're this guy's inspiration, you was his hero as a kid, and it set him on a path, and so it's like okay, and then Kevin Bacon did his awesome, play the guitar and sing this Christmas song with this band. I forgot the band's name, who are being played who are in costume as like aliens, and they sing this cool Christmas song, and you see like a moment where Nebula just like, I don't know, I wouldn't call it doing a robot. She's doing this thing, and it's like okay, sure, but everybody's just getting like exchanging gifts, and like a cool callback moment, and people like to shit on callbacks. Oh, it's gimmicky. It's just for the sake of. It's a callback for the sake of a callback. Woo woo. Like the kind of shit that gave Spider-Man No Way Home a bunch of flack for. Most people, not everybody. But this is like another example of this is not too dissimilar to what we get from Spider-Man No Way Home. Rocket gets a present from Nebula. I'm pretty sure it's Nebula or Groot. I think it was Nebula, who gave Rocket Bucky's old arm, the thing that he mentions in Infinity War, I think. And so he finally got it, because Bucky probably doesn't need it because he has the vibranium arm now. So it'd be fun to see what Rocket would do with this thing. I imagine it'll turn into some kind of awesome weapon in the next Guardians film. And everybody's exchanging gifts. Groot hands everybody these wood carvings. Is kind of fun. Just showing the little moments in the I'm pretty sure Galaxy's Edge or Disney, whatever, have gift shops with all these little things that cost $100, $200 worth. But these little sculptures, wood carvings of certain moments throughout the special, which is pretty dope. And uh, so yeah, and the like everybody wish each other Merry Christmas. Kevin Bacon heads on home after everybody just get this big old hug. The only thing, because like when they announced this, I expected Peter Quill and Kevin Bacon do like a dance together, because like he talked about so much about how much he loved the movie Footloose, and you got Kevin Bacon there. Why you two don't do like a dance together? I mean, like it's like I was like waiting for that, and I didn't get that. I think that it doesn't ruin the film for me. It's like, God, that's a missed opportunity. You're never gonna get this again. And you got Kevin Bacon. Why would you not have Kevin Bacon and Peter Quill do a dance together? It's weird. It's so weird. But all in all, it's like I enjoyed this film. Of course, there's a post-credit scene talking about like wait till the next special, something, or next holiday or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I dug the film. Still pretty fun. I still put it on the same level as the other Guardians film. The Guardians film, at least to me personally, remain on that kind of steady streak. I mean, I think I like the first one slightly more than the second one, but the second one had Kurt Russell. So like, Kurt Russell, he's always awesome. I love Ego. But the holiday special is pretty up there. I dug the holiday special. But anyway, let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the holiday special. What your likes or dislikes about it. And I will see you guys in a little bit, because I will begin to the my MCU ranking part 2. And I'll do that after each phase is over to add more to it.